Hello, my name is Ted. I'm an SST with the Systems Management Group at Dell EMC, and this is the video regarding the deployment of ISOs using Open Manage Integration for VMware vCenter, or OMI-VV. We're going to go over the process here. First thing is to log into our vCenter. Once we get logged into vCenter, we're going to go to the Open Manage Integration plugin. I do have a target server discovered here in bare metal that I can use to deploy. So if we click on that, we'll notice that we are missing an ISO profile. For me to deploy the operating system, I'm going to need to create an ISO profile here. We can do it right here from this wizard. It's going to present us with the option. Let's go ahead and provide it an image location. Got that over here on my clipboard. And provide a username and password. And then select the version of ESX. We can test to make sure that the ISO is going to work. We get our success, and we'll finish adding that ISO. Then we can complete the deployment process here. Let's go ahead and start here. Select our server to deploy. Then we are selecting the ISO profile and where we're going to put the server when we're done. I'm just going to put it here in the lab in my vCenter. And let's see, the ISO. Then we're going to select the boot device that we want to apply this to. And I'm also going to deploy the hypervisor to the first boot disk. So this is specifically if we do not have an internal dual SD module or ID-SDM or BOSS, you can deploy this to that first hard drive. It gives us a warning that all data on the disk will be erased. I'm going to click Next. We're going to choose to use the same host credential profile. I'm going to provide our lab profile here along with a password. And we're going to go ahead and click Next. And then here we apply our settings. We're going to give it a name. And tell it which network connection to use. I'm not going to use a VLAN. We can provide an IP address here if we like, if we're going to specify that. For this example, I'm just going to use DHCP. And then we're going to give it a name. And tell it to run now. And then we'll go ahead and view that job immediately after this is complete. The deploy OS process is started. This process will take a little bit of time to go ahead and reach out to the iDRAC and actually deploy the ISO. It will boot from the ISO and start deploying the operating system automatically. It's important to note that OMI-VV does leverage a Kickstart file for this deployment process. So if you were using a custom image that you created with the VMware tools that also leverages the Kickstart process, that ISO image will fail to deploy because the conflict of the Kickstart process that OMI-VV uses and the Kickstart process from the custom created ISO. And after we refresh there, we can see that the status is in progress. If we want, we can pull up the iDRAC and view that as well to watch the boot process of the iDRAC through the virtual console. The iDRAC is, the server is booting right now, and the servicing partition has been requested by the lifecycle controller. As this process is still ongoing, we'll watch it boot and deploy the operating system here to verify that everything went well with our configuration settings. Once the host OS deployment is complete and the Kickstart process is completed, we will see these new tasks in our vCenter where the host is added to vCenter as we directed. And we will see the completion of this job in our OMIVV console. Now that our host has completed booting, it should be added to our vCenter. We can confirm this by looking at the task progress. We'll see some tasks kicking off here, but we can also check and make sure that it is now added to vCenter on our host tab. There's our add standalone host process, and we can see that the host has popped into vCenter here. Again, in OMIVV, we can see the progress of this task. Now that all of our onboarding tasks have completed, we should see the status of this move to the completed status as well. There we can see successful on a refresh. And we can also verify in our vCenter under hosts that everything is healthy and our host is currently in maintenance mode, awaiting any further configuration that is required. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I do hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.